Hello everyone, this is Sonic94. It's been over a week since Summer of Sonic finished, so today I present to you a recap of my experience at the convention. To put it simply, SoS10 was a blast and was the most fun I had this year by far. It was such a great social experience for me to meet and befriend many people from the same fan base, and the event was jam-packed with fan service as well as a lot of humorous moments. One of the big reasons I attended this year was of course the playable demos of the upcoming games Sonic 4 and Sonic Colors. I was hoping to get a chance to play Sonic 4, but there was such a big line of people waiting to play it that I unfortunately never got to experience it when I had the chance at the convention. Fortunately, I was able to play both the Wii and DS versions of Sonic Colors after waiting in the queue for only 2 and a bit hours. Now, for no reason at all, here's my coverage and general thoughts on the game so far. The Wii version of Colors plays a lot like the daytime stages in Sonic Unleashed, meaning a good majority of gameplay elements from that game return, such as the boost, sidestepping and drift abilities. I found the new Wisp abilities to be a little difficult to execute and control at first, but after a couple of minutes I got to grips with the drill Wisp and as a result I had a really fun time playing the game. The E3 build I played was not flawless. The controls were slightly stiff in places, particularly with sliding and drifting, but the game still has a few months left in development, so it's a problem I'm willing to overlook for now. One thing I found quite funny while playing was the fact that due to a problem regarding the Wii Sync button being broken, we had to play the game with a GameCube controller, which is something I would have preferred using anyway, but because of the game we were playing was an early build, the on-screen button prompt still showed buttons relating to the Wii Remote and Nunchuck, regardless of the alternative control method we were using, which did cause a lot of confusion for people, including myself. Overall, despite these little problems, I found the Wii version of Sonic Colors to be a very enjoyable experience. The level design is fantastic, the graphics are top-notch for Wii standards, the Wisp abilities open up a ton of alternative routes to take, which I think will really help the game's replay value, and I'll definitely be checking out the final product when it's released in November. Now as for the DS version of Sonic Colors, I don't really have that much to say. The controls are near flawless, they're just as good as the Sonic Rush games, which in many ways is what this version takes up after. The game's on-screen action takes advantage of both screens, just like Sonic Rush. The game features on-rails 3D segments, just like Sonic Rush. And the game uses a boost, which looks, feels and functions just like that of Sonic Rush. The only things that really differentiate this game from the Rush series are of course the Wisps and the addition of the homing attack. Other than that, it's pretty much the same sort of thing. But that's by no means a bad thing, since the Sonic Rush games were perfect on their own, so if an early build like the one I played can offer the same amount of enjoyment as those titles, then this could well end up being a really good game. So overall, if you liked Sonic Rush and Sonic Rush Adventure, you'll most likely enjoy the DS version of Sonic Colors, as it's pretty much set to be the closest thing to a third installment in the series. As I mentioned earlier, there was a lot of humour to be found in the various performances and contests, and this was very apparent in the karaoke performances hosted by Sonic Rex, entitled The Rex Factor. One of the most hilarious moments in the entire convention for me was when one of the contestants was asked to perform the Sonic Underground theme.
Sonic Underground, Sonic Underground, they made a mound and mother will be found.
Unsurprisingly, he was the person who won the contest, but I say he deserved it because he sung it so fittingly over the top, particularly during the part with Queen Alina. Following in tradition from last year, the convention opened with a countdown which followed with another Tails doll short created by Boozerman of Sonic Paradox fame. Only this time, Marine was the one to go all demonic and scary. An interesting twist. As my wait in the queue for Sonic Colors continued, I witnessed the cosplay competition. Overall, every contestant turned up in an interesting costume of their respected character, but it was so funny to witness a surprising number of people wanting someone just as big the Cat to win. In fact, it was nearly a close tie between Big and Dr. Eggman at the end. Ultimately though, Eggman won, which followed with repeating chants of "Penis!" from the crowd. Strangely, I was the only person to refer to that other infamous Robotnik quote.
Happiness is always so much more enjoyable when it's based on the misery.
Merchandise purchasing was kind of a feeding frenzy at SoS10. All the Crush 40 CDs from the Chow Black Market were sold out within just 5 minutes of the convention opening. No joke, I got to the merch stand after just 5 minutes of getting into the place and there were no more CDs to be found on sale. Thankfully, it wasn't too much of a problem in regard to the various comics on sale. In the end, I purchased 4 issues of Sonic the Comic, issue 150 of the Archie Comics series, and the Knuckles Chaotix comic adaptation. The same stand also featured a lot of other interesting Sonic memorabilia, including a few original animation cells from the Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog cartoon. Just as I finished purchasing the comics, the guy running the stand put on sale a copy of the Sonic Adventure 2 soundtrack CD, which I immediately bought before someone else even realised it was on sale. Sweet revenge is mine, losers! I'm just kidding. After participating in a Q&A session, the Crush 40 legends themselves, Jun Chanao and Johnny Joeli, were open for people to get autographs from them at the same stand I purchased the STC issues. I got them both to sign my copy of the game, which in my opinion features some of their best music. It was of course none other than Sonic Adventure 2 for Dreamcast. Jun Chanao himself commented that it was one of his favourite games in the franchise, so I knew I made a good choice. Finally, to end the convention, we got treated to what was the icing on the cake for SoS10, Crush 40's live performance. To say they ended the convention with a bang would be an understatement. Opening with I Am All of Me and ending with Live and Learn, they just blew the place away with pure awesomeness, and even Sonic joined in with the fun. Overall, I had one hell of a great time at SoS10. It was so much fun hanging out with members of the same fanbase, expressing our opinions and making our visit worthwhile. The Sonic fanbase may be one of the most infamous fanbases online today, but if the vast majority of friendly and respectable fans who attended this year's Summer of Sonic has proven anything, is that we still have a great number of people who aren't raving lunatics who complain about things from werehogs to green eyes. And that's all I've got to say, everyone, so until we meet again, this is Sonic94 saying good night, goodbye, and God bless.